Okay, so you wouldn't believe how much strategy goes into something as, like, seemingly simple as a trade show booth.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, getting yours right, that's make or break for making those connections and landing those deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today we are diving deep into a company called BriteBooth
Okay.
to see if their approach is the winning ticket for your next event.
Sounds good.
So what's fascinating about BriteBooth is this curated approach.
Yeah.
They've chosen to focus on what they believe are the best backlit displays on the market instead of, like, overwhelming you with this massive catalog
Yeah.
like some of their competitors do.
Right.
Now, this minimalist approach, it really piqued my interest, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Why limit your offerings in a world where everyone seems to crave more choices?
it's a great question. And it really speaks to, I think, a growing trend in marketing overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is about cutting through the noise.
Okay.
So BrightBooth is betting that by curating a selection of top-tier products, they can simplify that decision-making process for their customers
Okay.
and position themselves as these trusted advisors.
Interesting.
They're essentially saying, we've done the research, we know what works, trust us to guide you to the perfect display.
That makes a lot of sense, especially for someone like me who I get overwhelmed with too many options.
Sure.
But does their curated selection actually offer enough variety to meet everyone's needs?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's something that we'll definitely explore further.
Yeah.
But before we get into like the nitty-gritty,
Okay.
let's talk about what BrightBooth is actually offering here. So their website really highlights backlit displays as their hero product.
Okay.
Think walls, counters, towers, all lit up from within to make your branding really pop.
Right.
Even in a dimly lit convention center, right? And they've even got this massive 20-foot Casonara backlit wall.
Wow.
Can you imagine the impact of that thing? You'd practically need sunglasses just to look at it.
Talk about an attention grabber.
It's like they're saying, hey, look at me, but in the most elegant way possible, right? They're not
Right.
just selling a display, they're selling a statement piece.
Exactly. And it's smart of them to offer a range of sizes and configurations
Mm-hmm.
to fit, different booth spaces and budgets.
Yeah, for sure.
But size isn't everything, right? They're also emphasizing sleek design and innovation with their SEGO line.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting. Okay. The SEGO displays feature tool freeze setup
Oh, wow.
and these really cool magnet-powered LED lights.
Interesting.
What's brilliant about that is they eliminate messy wiring, making your booth setup incredibly fast and easy.
And for businesses that are always on the go, I mean, that ease of use can be a game changer.
Totally.
Especially when you're trying to set up a booth in a really limited time frame.
Exactly.
Who wants to spend their, like, precious time untangling wires when you could be out there networking and, making those connections?
Right, yeah.
And speaking of making things easy, BriteBooth also offers these pre-designed kits,
Oh, nice.
which I have to admit sound like a lifesaver for someone like me who's not exactly a design whiz.
Yeah. These kits are a brilliant move on their part. It suggests they understand that time-strapped businesses might prioritize convenience,
Mm-hmm.
even if it means sacrificing some customization.
Correct.
They're essentially offering a plug-and-play solution for businesses that need a professional-looking booth without the hassle of starting from scratch.
Right. That's a great point because, let's face it, time is money, especially at a trade show.
Absolutely.
And these kits seem like a smart way to hit the ground running with a really polished look.
Yeah, no, totally. And that focus on user-friendliness seems to extend beyond just like the product design itself.
Yeah.
BriteBooth seems very dedicated to making like the entire customer experience as smooth as possible.
Absolutely. They offer free returns, a price match guarantee,
Right.
even a dedicated FAQ section.
Right.
It all points to a company that's really invested in customer satisfaction.
Mhm.
They seem to understand that a happy customer is a repeat customer.
For sure. For sure. And a well-lit, happy customer at that.
Yeah.
Because their website really leans into this whole like shining brighter theme.
Oh.
It's almost like they're selling a feeling of success as much as they are selling displays. You know what I mean?
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
They're clearly tapping into that emotional aspect of exhibiting at a trade show.
Totally.
It's about standing out from the competition, making a statement, and ultimately driving results.
Right.
You're not just renting a space in a convention hall.
Right. Yeah.
You're creating an experience.
Exactly.
And they're providing the tools to make that experience as impactful as possible.
Yeah, and to their credit, they seem to back it up with some pretty impressive design features.
Okay.
For example, they offer free artwork proofing, which is huge for someone like me who wouldn't know a vector graphic if it hit me in the
It
face.
shows a commitment to quality control, which is essential in this industry.
Hmm.
After all, your trade show display, it's a reflection of your brand.
Right.
A poorly designed display can do more harm than good.
Oh, absolutely. And don't forget the 3D renderings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to see a flat design on your computer screen,
Right.
but to be able to visualize your display in a three-dimensional space, that's a game changer.
It's like taking a virtual tour of your booth before you even, set foot on the show floor.
Exactly.
That level of visualization can be invaluable for catching any potential design flaws or just making sure everything flows together seamlessly.
For sure. And if that wasn't enough handholding, they even offer full design services.
Wow, really?
So if you're starting from scratch or if you're just short on time and resources, they've got you covered.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a built-in design team, which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It circles back to their whole curated approach.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just selling a product, they're selling a solution.
Exactly.
They're saying, we can handle everything from the initial concept to the final product so you can focus on what you do best.
Right.
It's all starting to make sense now, but I have to admit, after all this talk about streamlined selection and pre-designed kits, I'm wondering, do they offer enough customization?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're really emphasizing both a curated selection and a custom-designed experience, which seems a bit paradoxical.
Interesting.
It does raise some important questions for you as like a potential customer. Like how much flexibility do you really have within their curated selection? Can they truly tailor a display to your unique needs and brand identity? Or are you ultimately limited by their like predetermined options?
Right.
These are all things you'd want to clarify before committing.
Yeah, those are all really good points.
Yeah.
Like, how much can you really personalize a pre-selected design?
Mm.
Where's that line between guidance and limitation,
Exactly. And that's where really doing your due diligence becomes so essential.
Right.
Don't be afraid to reach out to BriteBooth directly, ask for specifics,
Okay.
request detailed product specifications, inquire about their setup process, and maybe even like ask for testimonials from previous customers.
Ooh, good call on the testimonials.
Yeah.
Hearing from other businesses that have used BriteBooth displays, that would be so valuable.
Seeing those real-world experiences, good or bad, would definitely influence my decision.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you need to feel confident that BriteBooth is the right partner for you, right?
Right.
They might have a curated selection, they might have these sleek designs,
Mm-hmm.
but it all comes down to whether their solutions align with your specific goals and your budget.
This has been really eye-opening.
Yeah.
I started this deep dive thinking trade show displays were, well, kind of boring,
Sure.
but you've really helped me see them as this strategic investment, a way to really elevate your brand presence.
And that's the key takeaway here.
Okay.
Don't underestimate the power of a well-designed display.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to create a lasting impression, to spark those conversations, and ultimately to drive those business results. So to sum up, while BriteBooth's curated approach is definitely intriguing,
Yes.
it's essential to maybe gather a little more information,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to those customization options and the logistical considerations.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask those probing questions and really make sure they're the perfect fit for your trade show needs.
Well said, and maybe even consider this. Even with a curated selection, right?
Yeah.
How can you inject your unique brand personality into that display?
Oh, interesting.
What subtle customizations or like creative choices can you make to ensure it doesn't just blend in, but it really stands out?
Okay.
That, I believe, is that next level of this deep dive for you.
That's the perfect thought to leave us on.
Awesome.
It's not just about choosing the display, it's about making it uniquely yours. Thanks for joining us on this illuminating deep dive into the world of BriteBooth.
Yeah, thank you.